welcome everyone to this edition of Looking at Louisville. I'm Zach.
And I'm Krista.
And I tell you what, we're going to get our tour on today.
We're going to hop aboard a trolley and then we're going to go take a walking tour on foot of downtown Louisville.
You know what, and we're going to finish it off with lunch and Manny at Merle's.
Can't wait, let's go.
Let's do it.
The goal of the trolley tour is to provide the customers with a general overview of the city. Basically, we're going to show them all of downtown. We'll show them the riverfront. From there we head south down through Old Louisville, the largest collection of Victorian homes in the country. Then from there we go on down, we cut through the campus of the University of Louisville to get out to Churchill Downs. So we show them Churchill Downs, home of the Kentucky Derby. Generally, people really like the schedule that we do. We do 10, 12, and 2 each day. It's 75 minutes. It gives them an overview of the city, lets them know quickly the things that they want to go see once the tour is over. It's a convenient time frame for them.
Hi, I'm Krista.
Krista, I'm Drew.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Zach.
Hey Zach, I'm Drew. Nice
We
to
are
meet you.
here for a walking tour.
Great. Well, you've come to the right place. This is the Louisville Visitor Center, and we do the whiskey walking tours out of here. And what we're going to do is talk about the history of the bourbon distilling industry here in Kentucky, and also we're going to talk about the history of the whiskey industry and its impact on Louisville. And we're going to go tour some older historic places in Louisville known as Whiskey Row. And I'll give you a little history about that when we go down there. Well, here we are on Main Street. We're actually at the corner of 6th and Main, and we're standing out in front of the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience. Now, Evan Williams, if you see on the bottle inside there, it says 1783. And the reason why that date is so important is that he was one of the first licensed distillers, not only in Kentucky, but right here in Louisville. And his still was located right down the street here between 5th and 6th Street on River Road. So it has a lot of history here. Evan Williams is owned by the Heaven Hill Distillery, and they opened up this tour here several years ago as part of the renaissance and the revival that's going on in the bourbon industry right now. Here we are in the final part of the whiskey tour, and behind me is a portrait of George Garvin Brown. And he was the developer of Old Forester whiskey. And what was so neat about him is that he worked for a pharmaceutical firm. And he came up with the concept of putting bourbon whiskey in a bottle. Because back then, in 1870, whiskey was sold out of the barrel. And it was never consistent in the quality or the quantity of what you were getting as far as whiskey. So he came up with the idea of putting bourbon whiskey in the bottle and then selling that, and he shaped the bottle in the size of a pharmaceutical bottle. And the label on the bottle was also written out like a prescription. And he named it Old Forester after a very well-known Civil War doctor. And he thought since this doctor's name was so well known that people would trust this product as a way of treating their ailments or illnesses. And that is why his portrait sits up here, and also his distillery was located down here too in Whiskey Row. Now back then, a lot of the distillers located their businesses here in Whiskey Row, and they were more for accounting purposes, because as the riverboats came up and down the river, they would roll the whiskey barrels out onto the street, down Main Street, and roll them down towards the river, where they would either go north or south to be delivered. They wanted to make sure that none of the product did not miss the boat, so to speak. So what they did is they moved their accounting offices down here in Whiskey Row to make sure that if they sent down 100 barrels of bourbon whiskey, that 100 barrels of bourbon whiskey was being accounted for. As you can see, the buildings behind me, they started in the era about 1850 to about 1910, when this area was completed. And it was basically, a majority of them was because of the distilling industry here in Louisville. Now today, we are very fortunate that the Brown-Forman Corporation has purchased these buildings from the descendants of the Brown family, of George Garvin Brown's family. And now they are going to move Old Forester whiskey production down here and make it part of the Bourbon Trail experience here in Louisville. So we're very fortunate. They're going to be investing close to $30 million in revitalizing this area of Whiskey Row.
Well, it has been a full day of touring Louisville. We started out with the Trolley Ride, which is a great 75-minute experience, downtown, Churchill Downs, Old Louisville. Their slogan is it's the best first thing to do in Louisville, and that really is the best way to describe that tour. It gives you some tidbits of information and leaves you wanting just a little bit more to go out on your own.
Right, and then after you do the trolley tour, I think a great option is the walking tours, and they start off at our visitor center, and they have actually 2 tours, a history hop and a whiskey walk, and today we did the whiskey walk, which was so much fun. Some of the highlights were a visit to the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience, and we went on Whiskey Row, and so those are going to be going on from May to September, so be sure and call our visitor center one day advance to book your spot, because they're pretty busy.
They are booking up quick. It's beautiful out. You need to try that out. Well, we've landed here at Manny and Merle, and what a great experience to cap off our day, starting with our drinks. Believe it or not, Chris and I didn't finish all these ourselves. We had several people here with us, but there was a great old-fashioned, and then really a cool drink called the Louisville, and it's actually made with Ale 8, which is obviously from Winchester, Kentucky, a local deal there. So really very interesting, neat drinks.
They were. Then we had the Manny Rita and the Front Porch Lemonade. Very delicious. I don't know which one was my favorite.
We got a couple options.
Yeah.
We got a couple options. Well, and of course after drinks we get into appetizers, and let's talk about this bacon and bourbon.
I have to give a special shout out to this. This bacon Picks appetizer was amazing. Bacon on a stick with a maple glaze, and they used Old Forester bourbon, which is perfect considering Old Fo is going to be opening down here in the near future.
That's right. Bourbon and bacon. Doesn't get better than
No,
that.
it sure doesn't.
But it gets a little bit better because we had 3 different types of guacamole. We had queso and pretzel bread,
macaroni and cheese. Oh my gosh! And then we went into some really great entrees. We had the tacos. They had so many different varieties. The fish taco. They had a wonderful pork taco with a green chili sauce.
It's a great experience. It's modern Mexican. I heard what the server describe it. They have street tacos, like you mentioned, but they have this brand new fried chicken, which is kind of 3 levels of hotness, if you'd call it that. The menu is there's a great variety, and we got a chance to try just a little bit of everything, including down to the salads and things like that. So for more information about this episode, send us an email at podcast@gotolouisville.com. Visit our website at gotolouisville.com, or you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
And don't forget to comment on Facebook. We'd love to hear about any of your ideas, and you might be able to join us in an upcoming episode of Looking at Louisville.
That's right. So as always,
you're looking at Louisville.
We'll see you next time. That's right. So for all it,
we're close.